Hi, and good morning, good day and good afternoon. My name is Lisa Dion Morris. I am the admissions tutor for product design, and I'm going to introduce you to several members of staff who teach on the product design programme. I'm going to start first with Professor Alison Mackay.
Oh, hi. So I'm Alison Mackay. I'm Professor of Design Systems in the School of Mechanical Engineering. I led the team that originally developed product design as a programme, and now I teach in level 4 and supervise projects in level 3 and 4.
Excellent, thank you. Dr. Ray Holt.
Thank you. So I'm a lecturer in product design in the School of Mechanical Engineering, and I teach the level 2 Design Studio module and the mechanical systems content at level 3, as well as supervising level 3 and level 4 projects.
Excellent, thank you. Dr. Gerard Duff.
Hi there, I'm the program manager for product design. I teach on the level 1 Design Studio module, as well as supervising at level 3, and we also deliver at an online master's course too.
Excellent, and Mr. Dan Trousdale.
Hello, I'm Dan Trousdale. I'm an associate professor in product design, and I teach on level 1 sketching and visualization techniques, and also the level 3 major project, and some level 4 supervision. My main interest is in sort of manufacturing, design for manufacture, and also design studio.
Excellent, and this is an introduction to our staff, and we're going to talk you through some of the projects at level 1, 2 and 3. Thank you.
So this is a level 1 project. It's the first project that students do generally when they arrive on the course. So that's to do with Design Studio 1. And this project is multi-layered. So you have just moved away from home generally. And you have a lot of learning to do both as an adult in terms of cooking for yourself, living independently, and the rest. So we kind of try and engage with that part of your new lives with this project while learning the academic side of design and product design in general. So the brief is in this instance was living independently or maintaining a secure, clean and healthy home for independent living. So that's you will then use your own experiences as a product designer to help develop your solution. So one of the challenges that novice designers often face is that we can all come up with 1 or 2 good ideas, but your role generally in a company is to be the ideas person. So we need to kind of develop that skill set in you into coming up with lots of ideas on a project. So we start to work on these by establishing playing around with a number of existing proven tools and techniques to help you do that, because it's not about sitting in a dark room on your own trying to just generate ideas. It's about having a structured approach to help you develop solutions on a consistent level, no matter what the project is. So here's an example of this with this student. Her name is Hannah. And so she's looked at this project, which is maintaining a secure, clean and healthy home environment, so for her new student accommodation. And now she's been introduced to how to design a brief for herself, or reassessing the problem statement so she can then focus on a specific issue. And then she got introduced to how to create a persona. So Adam in this instance is her persona. He's 18 and he's living away from home. He's a degree student, so it relates to the brief itself. And then she started developing sketches and ideas in a divergent kind of space. So she's allowing herself to be creative, to explore the problem and not to shut down any ideas straight away. So this is one of the things that we work with you on when you come to study here at Leeds. Then, you know, everyone can come up with an idea, but then the trick is, or the challenge is to be able to stand beside it and answer questions that someone might have against it. So the things that you have to do around that is, you know, start reading about the problem space, experimenting, investigating, getting your Sherlock Holmes hat on, and then kind of refining and being able to stand beside that solution that you're coming up and challenge your solutions that you're creating. So you do that in a number of ways. You read around the subject area, you listen to podcasts, you talk to people, and then you develop some sketches, or you create a basic prototype, and then you give those to people and get some feedback. And there's a range of tools and techniques out there that we employ to try and create the best solution that we can as possible. And this is a good example of how that student went around that. So she did multiple things, including creating a questionnaire and developing a range of sketches, and she talked to as many people as she could. Have any comments on that, guys? Anyone want to come in or jump in?
Can I just I think the thing that I like about this project is that it's a really good project for fostering that transition into higher education from A-levels, BTEC, International Baccalaureate, whatever qualification that you came into the University of Leeds with, is that we have a foundation year where everyone starts again from scratch but enjoys the importance of learning new skills or refining new skills, and also can prioritise those skills within a project brief linked to their own personal experience.
True, and that's also with this project as well, and others in Design Studio, with links across subject areas that you'll be introduced to in product design. So this links to the sketching module that you do with Dan Trousdale, or there's an electronics element to it that you learn with Jordan Boyle, or materials as well. So this Design Studio is linked to all of your other modules, so you can see why and how your learning has implications for the overall design and development of a product.
I think the thing I like about it is that the brief is revised, so the brief is a live document that's elaborated and developed as the student learns about the problem area, rather than thinking the brief has to just be completely fixed and regardless of what you found out. So that sort of iterative process, I think, is really important.
It really is.
That students get quite quickly. Yeah.
It's great to see a multitude of ideas, isn't it? On one sheet like that. Really, you really can feel the exploration that's going on in the project. It's really good to see.
Well, from there you can see then that she's kind of did her broad level brush of basic understanding. So she jotted down everything that she thought she knew. She conducted some research, and now she's focusing it down after developing her own personal brief. And that's where so once you start focusing down on a specific area, you realize there's a whole host of issues that you haven't even thought of yet. And then you'll see here she has developed a requirements table. So that lists out the main functions that her solution needs. She's given them a priority level. So she knows when some of these requirements come into tension against each other, some of them are more important than others. So that's where you make your trade-offs in your designability. So it's all about researching and justifying and then coming up with solutions. So from there she's developed a range of solutions, and then was able to quantify how good these were against her requirements table. So she was able to evaluate them instead of just going, oh, I like that one. There's now a body of research underpinning the decision making. She's able to say with some clout that actually this is a good idea, and I know this is a good idea because of the research I've done in the past. So that's what we're looking for. And you can see that the communication skills are there in terms of sketching. She's thinking through how this might work, how the hinges might work together, how the joints might work together. It's just an excellent piece of work. Anyone got any comments?
No, I agree with you. I mean, I think one of the things we're trying to develop in our graduates is this sort of being able to underpin decisions with with evidence as opposed to just making random claims, and this is a really good example of doing that, and those requirements are important in that, aren't they?
Okay. From there she's taken one design from the previous body of work, and she then sets about refining that further, so it actually it achieves an output, or achieves let's start that again. So from there she's taken one of her designs forward, and then it needs further refinement, so it can be manufactured, so it works the way she wants it to work. She links it, then you can see here she started testing the concept and ironing out any issues that she hadn't thought of previously, because again, as we've said, sketching is great. It's a great tool that we all use in this industry, but there's some things that you just don't figure out unless you make it and learn from prototyping. So you can see the student has done that here and then made adjustments based on those lessons learned.
Yeah, Can I just add, Gerard, that this, just if I get this wrong, please correct me, but this project took place within the current COVID situation, the COVID-19 situation?
It did. So it's, yeah, it's based on yeah.
Okay, well, that's for me. That's a perfect example, with even within the constraints of the current situation, that the students have been able to challenge their own ideas and to think critically about the best ways in order to prototype with the limited resources that we probably find ourselves in right now, but also being able to demonstrate the quality of their thinking and their skill set, regardless of the situation.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a really good example of that. Okay, so then the student then presents a final design and I've gone blank. What's that called on the left hand side? We'll have to start this again.
Storyboard.
Yeah, there we go. So then the student has taken on to develop a final design and presented it, giving us dimensions, so quantifiable per possible, an exploded view, so an understanding of how the product might be assembled, and a storyboard of how the product might be used. So you can see that it's unpacked, it's adjusted, and it's placed onto the table or put in a bag and stored away. So the student has really thought through how this product will be used in its real life. There's also an understanding of the various types of materials that are going to be used in this product, and an awareness of the manufacturing process.
Excellent.
I think the thing I like about this particularly is on the storyboard, the use of a hand to show you the actual size, and you know, to give you that visual indication of scale, which I learned from you three, is actually having something that people know the size of. It just communicates, because if you look at the storyboard, you know, you can see straight away the size, whereas on the other side, where it's got, for example, 305 millimeters, I have to think, oh right, that's 12 inches, and then imagine what 12 inches is, whereas the hand, you can just see straight away.
Yeah, it gives you a good indication of scale.
I think for me the great thing about this project is that you can actually see integrated learning from other modules, because they're actually benefiting from, I think it's your module, Dan, which is about visual sketching and communication, and actually applying that to their design process from the offset.
It's a really good example of that, isn't it? I mean, the combination of having the storyboard and then the final product there with, you know, a very small amount of annotation, which is probably just there to add very small amounts of detail. So I think the students go through this transition of, you know, putting loads of text on, you know, really explaining everything in the writing, to actually moving to using the visuals to do that. It's a really good example of telling that story. You don't really need to read too much to understand a lot about this product.
That is very true. So if we compare this piece of work to Julian's level 3 work, which we've just looked at, you can see that there's a vast difference in the quantity of text used to get your point across. So yeah, that is a challenge that novice level 1 students do go through and have to overcome, but it's something that the more practice we do, so the more projects that they get involved with, the more projects that they do, they improve in that area in particular.
How many projects do they do in level 1, Jared?
Level 1 in Design Studio, we do 5 projects. So you get your first assignment on your first day in Design Studio, and we learn by doing. So you are brought through the design process by weekly activities, and we build towards your first submission together. And then the second one, I stand back ever so slightly, and then you build towards that one. And the third one, I stand back completely, and the fourth, you're flying at that stage. So
I was just going to say that one of the things that always impressed me, especially over the years, actually, is when we are doing face-to-face open days and students or applicants bring their portfolios, the visual communication is very consistent across the different portfolios, I presume because of how they're assessed. But the person who produced this will have been at that level, and the difference between when they come and see us in, I don't know, is it February, March time, to when they finish sort of first year, 14 or 15 months later, is just so, it's unbelievable, really. I mean, if you see that, and they're all the same. See, students applicants looking at this now might be thinking, I'll never be able to do that. And the thing, Julian's, you know, how would I ever do that? But actually, most of our applicants start in the same place and they all get to this point. So I just find it really impressive.
Yeah, and it's the best part of this job, I guess, is that we're always learning from the students as well. So they're coming up with challenges that we've never even thought of, and then coming up with solutions to overcome them. And it's just a great place to be. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you very much, Gerard. Appreciate it.
There,
thank you all.